Ode to Civics. Let's put aside, at least for a moment, what the good old days were like for women and minority groups because the discrimination was a national disgrace. Steve Bannon. The three branches of the federal government are legislative, executive, and judicial. Their powers are vested by the U.S. Constitution in the Congress, the President, and the federal courts. Distance of the high school from the U.S. Capitol, 1.9 miles. Distance of the high school from the White House, 2.6 miles. Distance of the high school from the Supreme Court, 2.0 miles. Number of field trips to any of the three branches of the federal government, 0. Number of visits by senators to the high school, 0. Number of visits by congressmen to the high school, 0. Number of judges visiting the high school, 0. Number of times a president has come by to give me 5, 0. What the white woman civics teacher wanted to get across to the Negro students: do not be communists. Oh, come on now, please, give me some credit. I own a shortwave radio. I have listened nightly to the reports on potatoes, shoes, and pig iron from Radio Moscow because they have the strongest signal in the ionosphere and can't be avoided even if you wanted to ignore their grudging, monotonous propaganda. Outproduce the West. Who have you got, Soviets, that can touch Miles or Monk? I've seen America from coast to coast. Dangerous Negro travel, sleeping on the roadside in the desperate Nevada desert, refused beds, refused table service in the uncivilized South, eating Aunt Jemima pancakes in parking lots. I've seen the vigorous factories and the brooding grain silos that loom on the horizons that are stuffed with surplus. I'm all too aware of the righteous mythology, how the industrialists suckered the hog butchers, sod busters. I know chapter and verse about the patsies and greenhorns of time and motion. We capitalists aren't even trying, and we have an ecstatic utopia of stoves and washing machines. Not to mention the teeming, streamlined station wagons streaming on the superhighways. I have heard the number stations crisply chirping their phony dialectical materialism longingly in the twilight, sending their greetings to the sleeper agents who are lonely for their balalaikas and goosely. Don't tell me not to be a communist. Don't insult my intelligence. Give me nights in the Bohemian caverns. Give me Art Blakey and the Jazz Messenger. Dear teacher, your hollow civics lessons have me moaning. Every evening I'm moaning, 'cause all the trouble I see. Afflicted civics that load us with passive memorization of the Constitution, pop quizzes on the Bill of Rights, days when we had to come to class dressed like the separation of powers, and never a mention of passive resistance or civil disobedience. And that civics textbook that never comes up with the name of a single black person. Is that the work of an oversight committee? The science of citizenship. Is that where the county supervisors cut off surplus food distribution in retaliation against a voter drive in LaFleur County, Mississippi. Democratic citizenship, is that where it is never mentioned that the District of Columbia is run by Southern congressmen who will let you have street lights only if you bow and flatter and humble yourself? How can we calculate the damage of determined daily brainwashing and enforced mediocrity? Citizen education in amnesia and fantasy rules overall, down through the systematically gerrymandered, unregistered generation.